see your face again.
When I think about you, I touch myself.
All way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. Sends a permanent shiver. Rock and roll and you're still doing it now.
That I was born to try.
Lost me down and sickness almost gone. What's my
You're with Cheryl Lee, that radio chick. I've made myself a coffee already, so let's get stuck into it. You're on Raised on Rock Radio. Welcome to Australian Classic, where we'll visit a classic Australian album each episode. Some you'll know and love, and some hopefully will surprise you. Last episode we revisited Delta Goodrum's Innocent Eyes. This month we're taking a look at Rose Tattoo's self-titled debut album, released in November 1978 on the Alberts Productions label. The famous Vander and Young team who worked with AC/DC, The Angels and Stevie Wright. Hence the often made comparison of this album to the AC/DC sound. Track 1 and also the second single from the album, Rock and Roll Outlaw, written by a bunch from the band, Angry Anderson, Michael Cox, Gordon Leach, Dallas Royale and Peter Wells.
I'm a rock and roll outlaw, and I'm on the run. I'm a rock and roll outlaw, I never needed anyone.
That single in 81 charted in Europe, peaking at number 2 in France, number 5 in Germany and number 60 in the UK. And this song was also featured in the Classic Countdown album. The album was released titled Rock and Roll Outlaw in some markets, and it reached the top 40 on the Australian Kent Music Report albums chart. And in 1990, 8 bonus tracks were added to the CD edition for Repertoire Records. The album contains 10 songs, goes for 36 minutes and 48 seconds. Track 3, The Butcher and Fast Eddie, written by the same 5 band members, Anderson, Cox, Leach, Royale and Wells.
And the kids, they still talk about it. In the back streets and alleyways around town, they still talk about that cold, windy Saturday night. That old butcher, you know, he put Fast Eddie down.
From the Hills says Rose Tattoo had no aspirations to do anything other than play hard, drink hard and possibly kick your ass if you got on their bad side. The band is tight and play their power chords like they really mean it, but what really carries the music is Angry Anderson's powerful, slightly rough but surprisingly melodic voice and Pete Wells's slide guitar. Generally the faster songs such as Nice Boys and Astra Wally are the best, but when they slow down and go into full Thin Lizzy style storytelling mode on Butcher and Fast Eddie, they show another great side of the band. He likes this album because it doesn't beep around, but some of the songs are a little bit too generic and not memorable enough. Rose Tattoo does sound like AC/DC in some ways, but less
You are listening
deliberately
to Australian
grandiose.
Classic
Can't see
with
them
that
doing
radio
a song
chick
like Let
Cheryl
There Be
Lee
Rock, or
on
for those
Raised
about
on
to
Rock Radio.
This is a dirty, mean rock for the streets. The Butcher and Fast Eddie is the longest song on the album at 6.5 minutes.
You are listening to Australian Classic with that radio chick Cheryl Lee on Raised on Rock Radio.
They were so damn glad when I left school. Said I was crazy 'cause I broke the rules. Time to start living my teenage dream. Out on the streets it was rough and mean. That's why they call me one of the boys. Got
You're listening to me, Angry Anderson from Rosie Tats with Shazza.
One of the boys, one of my favourite songs from the album. Just a good old rock and roll sing-along song. And it was also featured on the glory days of Aussie Pub Rock Volume 2 album. I have been lucky enough to interview some of the many band members over the years. Angry Anderson, of course, also spoke with bassman Rob Riley and guitarist Bob Spencer. You can listen to those chats if you Google Still Rockin' It Cheryl Lee podcast. I reckon you go to your platform of choice and revisit the rest of the album. It's an oldie but a goodie.
Hi, this is Rockin' Rob Riley from Rose Tattoo and the Party Boys. You're with that radio chick Cheryl Lee.
Thank you for joining me. See you next time on Australian Classic. But for now, let's see if I can find that coffee machine again. If you'd like to see more of that Radio Chick stuff, you can go to the Facebook page, That Radio Chick Cheryl Lee, or check out the website, thatradiochick.com.au.
If you've just tuned in, you've just missed Australian Classic with that radio chick Cheryl Lee.
Try and understand